Welcome to the Good Pod, where today we're talking The Good Wife, Season 3, Episode 17, Long Way Home. I am one of your hosts, Jason Reed. With me, as always, Marissa Garza. Marissa, you good?
I'm good, Jason. You good?
I'm good. I just
Good.
got something I need to talk to you about.
Oh boy.
Do you remember when you gave me those files way back when? You were
Sure.
like, hey, just look over these for me. Don't edit them. Don't do anything with them. Just take a look at them.
Yeah.
Don't touch them. Don't do anything else. It's like, okay, you got it. Just look at them. Don't edit them. Don't do nothing. So I kind of didn't do that. I kind of like did some other stuff. So Marissa,
Oh no.
I
Oh
would
no, there's a prop. There's a
I'd
prop,
like you
people.
to say hello
Oh.
to our podcast child.
Oh, thank you.
His name is Stanton.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Are we raising Stanton together now?
I mean, I think we have to. I know that we are, quite far apart
We are.
regionally,
We
but
are.
luckily, I think Stanton can hold up against cross country shipping. So I think I'll take him for a couple of the days of the week. You take him for the other.
Okay.
I'm sorry that I bamboozled you and misappropriated your files that you gave me to create our podcast child here, but so I had to do what I had to do.
Well, I might have been in cahoots on this plan from the beginning. I don't know. It could have been.
Okay,
Oh,
okay. He's crying. He sees his podcast mommy, and he gets really upset.
oh,
So sorry,
Stanton.
So
Stanton, go to the
sorry.
elevator. It's gonna be
Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah. Push the button. Go ahead. Push the button. Yeah. Okay. Bye, Stanton. Bye. He'll be okay. I don't need to check on him. He's very
Oh, yeah.
self-sufficient.
Yeah.
For a child. And scene.
For those of audio listeners, it was a giant Grogu who is our Stanton.
Yeah, giant, life size. Who really knows?
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah. Here we are, Marissa.
Yes, Jason.
Season 3, episode 17. A lot happened. Not well. I don't say a lot happened. We had a unexpected departure, which we'll talk about. Which I was extremely shocked by this departure of this character. So we got a lot to talk about. Before we dive into the episode, we want to remind you, the audience, of some free and easy ways you can help this podcast. You can do that by reviewing, rating, and subscribing wherever it is you're listening or watching. There is a way for you to help us out by reviewing, rating, and or subscribing. If you want to just talk to us about the show, you can email us at thegoodpodfeedback@gmail.com. As always, thank you so much for reviewing, rating, and subscribing. It really helps us get into the eyes and ears of more people to check out this here podcast. If you want to help us monetarily, there is a way to do that now. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/goodpod. Throw in a couple bucks. We would really, really, really appreciate that. That is like the ultimate way of showing your patronage, your thanks for this here podcast show that we do. As always, those peeps, we thank you so much for buying us a coffee over there on that website. Marissa,
yeah,
let's get this thing started. Another good old Colin Sweeney episode. This is our first one, right? Of
season 3. Yeah.
I mean, I think we're good. We're good at least for one a season for Colin Sweeney. It seems like we have those once a season recurring guests. This is our Colin Sweeney stop for this season. So let's dive in.
Sure. Yeah, and just like we were talking about over on the Gilded Pod, this week was the week of Colin Sweeney for us. He showed up over there on the Gilded Pod. He is over here. So I feel like Colin Sweeney, if you're listening, like, say hello.
Yeah,
I'm here for you.
Again, just proving that the world revolves around
us.
Either you or I, or both of us.
Yeah.
Everyone and everything else is just part of the simulation. Because what are the odds that 2 weeks in a row we have Gilded Age people that pop, not literally just like, it's not as if Dylan Baker, aka Dr. Logan, whoever he plays on Gilded Age, is on there every week. He's like, I can't even
one
remember.
Time. Like,
this is one time.
Yeah.
And it's the exact week that we get the Colin Sweeney episode. Come on. That can't be a coincidence. It's a simulation. We are the rulers of everything. You are all the PCs out there.
And Stanton too. It's got to
Yeah,
revolve
Lil
around
Stanton,
Stanton. Yeah,
he
yeah.
showed up. But yeah, like that is crazy because you remember last week we talked about we had Clay, we had Church, we had uh Zoe, what's her name? Merritt Weaver.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy, crazy, crazy
Yes.
coincidence. And if you listen, if you're just joining us, Marissa and I, we just wrapped
Mhm.
up our coverage of the season 3 of the Gilded Age over on our spin-off podcast, the Gilded Pod. We had the one and the only Bryce Isaiah on. We had a great time. So if you're just tuning into this now and like, oh, I like Gilded Age, let me check that out. You can go find that over on the Gilded Pod. If you're watching on YouTube, it's in the same little channel, so you can just find it
Yeah.
pretty easily. Yeah, let's get our Colin Sweeney on.
Let's do it.
Not as like creepy as Colin usually is. This wasn't like the most bombastic Colin case, but it
But
was
very swarmy, very
very
Sweeney.
very swarmy, Mr. Sweeney, and it definitely was weird. We like to really get weird when Colin Sweeney
Oh yeah.
comes onto the scene. So
Yeah.
this was no joke.
Well, Colin is trying to get back in power at his company after going to jail and
Mhm.
murdering his wife, maybe. But so Eli and Alicia are backstage, like preparing him because he's going to speak in front of the board of directors at like the board of directors meeting. Eli is like on his game. Like he's just like, listen, they're gonna ask you about your wife. Like, this is what you're gonna have to say. And he's like, what should I say? I was asking Alicia, not you. And Alicia's there, like trying to tell him, like, you could say you didn't do it because that's technically true, right? And he's like, yeah, okay. And then Colin Sweeney goes on stage, and as he goes on stage, Eli goes to Alicia, he's weird with you.
Yeah, welcome to the party, Eli. I mean, I guess it's the first time Eli is seeing Alicia and Colin really interact. So it's just like, what? That's really weird. And Alicia knows the game at this point.
Yeah.
You don't react to Colin Sweeney. You just act like he's just any other person. He wants you to react to him. So like Alicia's eye rolling of all of Sweeney's antics are really the way to get to his level because he respects people that are at his level, not
Yes.
people that are scared of him or act like they're scared of him. So Alicia act like, oh my, like, okay, Colin, we get it. You're really Mr. Like, oh my gosh, outrageous. We understand. Eye rolling at him. It really gets them on a similar playing field.
Yeah, at one point, Colin's like, well, your firm's going to get 5% of the equity in this company. Make a lot of money for you, Alicia. She's like, yay, so
Oh,
great.
happy day.
So during his time on stage, there's some backroom shenanigans going on, and they're trying to whip votes for Colin to become the CEO again. And it turns out that there's 36,800 shares of stock that have kind of switched sides. They were like the owner was on Colin's side, and now he's not on Colin's side, and so they have to figure out like who these shares belong to. Alicia's calling Caitlin. Caitlin's in her room. It's like, I don't know. Why don't we ask Will? Will was on this case before everything happened. While Will's in his office, Lionel, Papa Gilmore, is there, and he is like trying to tell Will what questions he can and cannot answer. And Caitlin is trying to get an answer for Alicia. And we have this really interesting, like, well, what can I say? Can it be about his business and not a legal situation? Like, what can I do here, Lionel?
This was funny because this happened a couple times in this episode where it's like it was almost an explainer to the audience of
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, y'all don't like we said this, we're going to try to explain it to you better here. So like this conversation leads to like, why is Will able to consult on cases in the future? Audience, you're asking yourself, I thought Will was suspended. We're going to explain it to you. Okay. So well, I was like, well, you can consult on cases that you had, but not for strategy that's in the future. And so you can't really be a legal consultant in this Colin case right now. So you can't really answer Caitlin's questions. If Caitlin comes in, she's like, Will, I need to know who has this 36,800 shares. And Will's like, all right, Lionel, like, so what can I do here? Like, can I answer? Can I not answer? It goes to kind of show like how kind of ridiculous the rules are and how you can just really kind of easily sidestep them. Because in the conversation's like, well, technically she can't ask you if it's for legal reasons. And Will's like, well, actually Eli is part of our crisis management wing of the law firm, not dealing with legal issues. And Eli's there, so can she frame the question? So she asks you about Eli business, and Will starts to try and like literally say the question he wants Caitlin to ask him. And I was like, no, that ain't how it works. That's not how it works. You can't feed her the question. Just showing how silly the whole thing is. Like you can't give her the question, Will. She has to come up with it on her own. As it was like a quiz show of like, all right, Caitlin.
It was like a test for her. Like
right, it's a test. And Caitlin, who we've been shown is super, able, super,
competent.
Competent. That was the word I was trying to get. Super competent. It's like, okay, I think I got it. Like, Mr. Gold needs to know where this 36,800 shares went. And Will's like, all right, can I answer that, Lionel? He's like, yes. Like Lionel cannot be here every day and every second to approve or deny these questions. So like I don't know what this was for, but yeah, Will does point out who it is. And luckily, Diane is there at those offices right now.
Yeah, I forgot the name of the company, but it's like something with the Tenley. I put Teeny Mutual.
Little mutual funds.
Little tiny mutual fund. So Diane is like at this point walking out of a meeting with this mutual fund people. And as she's walking out, she gets a phone call from Caitlin and she turns right back around and is like, excuse me, did you just lie to me? Because she's walking out thinking that like she has done this for Colin Sweeney. Like we're all good. Everything's great. The whole team's together. She gets the call from Caitlin and is like, actually...
She literally like turns around like, oh, you mother effer. Like, did you just sit in my face and lie to me? Like, you never want to be on the other end of Diane Lockhart when you're doing that. You don't want to be lying to Diane and her find out. She's like, excuse me, did you just lie to me? Like, with her like little smile of like, you don't know who you just F with. Because I'm about to just take down this whole company.
Yeah. And she does get this guy to basically say, I'll go back on Colin's side. But he has to promise no more drama. Just like Mary J. Blige. No more drama. That lasts for like 2 seconds before Isabel Swift shows up behind the mic asking Colin questions after he gave his speech. And she's like, do you remember me? I used to work for you. Also, you sexually harassed me. Also, I had a son with you. Like,
yeah, she really blows this whole thing up. She's like, hey, remember me? And Colin, of course, is like, what? No, you don't look familiar at all. You know what? She's like, oh, I should, because you were having sex with me. And guess what? Literally like a prop. Just pulls up this kid like, hey, and this is your son. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, I was like, are we watching like Jerry Springer, Maury Povich? Like, what is happening? Like, how is this going on? But apparently there is definitely a question to this kid's paternity. So they're going into court because they have 72 hours before Colin Sweeney has to like get rid of all of his shares because he lost the proxy vote because of this drama. So he has to go into court and prove that the sexual harassment was a lie. Not the fact that the kid is his, because they could have had consensual sex some other time, but the sexual harassment is a lie. And trying to find a connection between Isabel and Mr. Drescher, who took over when Colin was in jail.
Yeah, this is again them turning to the audience like, okay, guys, here are the stakes. We've got to prove, like you said, Marissa, you got to prove we have to prove sexual harassment. And we have to prove that he did not sexually harass her, and have to prove that Isabel and Drescher worked together. Like, you got it, guys. That's what we're looking for here. So just keep following us. Those are our objectives for the episode.
Yeah, okay. Like you don't have to worry about like the whole equity blah 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 of it all.
Yeah, that's over.
These are the two things.
You need to know numbers and figures. We're just looking to prove a couple different things, and that's what you all watching the episode will have to worry about.
So we get into court, and oh my gosh, I loved who I saw on the stand, Jason. One of my faves, none other than
BB Newworth, aka Lilith from Cheers, and then later Frasier. I figured this would get to your heart, Marissa. I don't know what it is. We never talked about Cheers and Frasier, but I just felt like that was your jam. That was your thing. You were going to be a Lilith fan. And yeah, Lilith ain't playing around. In Lilith's courtroom, she's not going to take any of your crap.
No. Also, to add to her accolades, BB Newirth originated the role of, I forget her name, but one of the original roles in Chicago, the musical on Broadway. So this is like another Broadway person that is coming up into. And if she shows up on the Gilded Age, I will like freak out. But anywho,
Yeah.
she is presiding over a courtroom today, and Colin is on the stand, and he's being questioned by Alicia, like, "Did you ever have sex with this woman?" And he is Colin Sweeneying all over the place. He's like, "No, she's not to my taste. No,
She's not to my taste.
no, I would
I've
not do
never,
that."
I've never had sexual relations with that woman. Okay.
Oh, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, Colin would probably be on some lists as well. But he also says, like, I fired her when I came on, and then Drescher rehired her, so like I don't really know her. Meanwhile, Kalinda's at a restaurant talking to a waitress saying, "Here's a receipt from Isabel, and here's a receipt from Mr. Drescher. They are of the same amount, so they obviously split the check. Can you tell me a little bit about her?" She's like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, she's here with all the CEOs. She's been here with Drescher, been here with Colin Sweeney, and also they escaped to the bathroom."
Oh man, this waitress, which I've never been a waiter or anything like that. So it seems like all the waitresses and waiters have all the hot goss.
Yeah,
Because
for
for her to remember this specific thing, which if we're following the timeline of like this had to be over a year ago for Isabel to have had this child, who is like probably a little over
Oh,
1 year old. Like,
I don't know. He's got to be like, when he, at the end of the episode, he's walking and
yeah,
there's a stroller and he's putting his head on the table of the conference room. So he's
yeah.
got to be at least like 2, 3, somewhere in
It was a
there.
couple of years ago. Because I mean, if you think about it, probably before Colin went to jail. Probably,
Yeah, probably.
maybe
Yeah.
right after he got out. I don't know, because for Drescher to want to do this, I don't know. The timeline's fuzzy, but the kid, it's been a couple years at least. So for her to remember that this actually happened, was like, oh damn, got a good memory, girl.
Well, and also apparently, like, if she's with all these CEOs, she's come in like with other people outside of
Hmm.
Drescher and Sweeney. So maybe it's just a thing she sees quite often happening.
Yeah, I mean, she calls her a CEO slut. It's like, oh,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
these things always hit your ears in the 2025 lens
Yeah.
from the 2012 lens, where things were acceptable to say on primetime network television.
There are some other things in this episode that really did
Yeah,
not age well as well.
for sure. But yeah, for her to remember, like, it was almost as if she was hired by Dressel to be like, oh, by the way, she was also with Colin Sweeney. I saw it from my own eyes. And so this really gets our people into a panic, because it's like, sweetie, you told us, your lawyers, that you've never had sex with her. So
And
what are you talking
he
about?
is in the most Colin Sweeney way. It's like, I didn't have penetrative sex with her. I had oral
All right,
sex with
Bill.
her, but
All right, all right, Bill. All right,
so
Clinton. All right,
it
Bill Clinton.
depends on what your definition of
I did not
is.
have sexual relations with that woman.
And so now Alicia is stuck with the fact that she knows that her client perjured himself on the stand, but using this information like could help him. Well, like she doesn't know how to handle like examining Isabel on the stand. Like, what do I do with this now? And so,
Well, also, Colin. How do I handle Colin?
yeah,
Because
exactly.
he literally. I now know that he lied on the stand, and legally, I have an obligation to not like continue with things that I know are a lie. I cannot ask questions on things I know are based on a lie. So she goes to Will, like, so Will,
Yeah.
technically,
Theoretically.
technically, hypothetically, if I had someone that I knew lied while I was questioning, what do I do? And of course, Will, who's like, I have to abide by these rules, these laws. Who obviously we all actually know who we're talking about. It's like, oh, if I don't know who we're talking, if I just talking about a random client, I can give you advice. It's like, okay, like either you want to stick to the rules or you don't. Like, just tiptoe this line is so crazy to me.
Yeah, he's like really trying to be on the straight and narrow
I think
for
I think
like,
the thing is, like, I think the thing with these kind of situations is, act like whoever you're talking to has a microphone on them and they are
Yeah,
taping you.
exactly.
Like
Yeah,
that's what
like
you have to do.
that's
Anyone you talk to, you can be talking to your own mother. You gotta act like they are taping you right now. They're for the feds. You gotta act like, well, you know, I can't actually tell you about Colin Sweeney, but I can tell you about a random person that you're talking about because you're not going to get me on tape breaking the rules, but I am kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge breaking the rules, but you can't prove that I was breaking the rules.
yeah. So it's Isabel's turn on the stand, and she is testifying that they had sex 8 times, like
Yeah.
as opposed to Colin Sweeney's, I've never had sex with her. And this is where it really didn't age well for me with Alicia because I'm pretty sure, and it was hard to not look at Julianna that way. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, the 2025 knowledge is kind of conflicting here.
Mhm.
But she is basically saying, well, he said he wasn't there, and you said he was there. So isn't this a basic he said, she said? What are we supposed to do with that? And I'm screaming at my television, believe the women. We're supposed to believe the women. And she basically says, we can't because we can't prove anything here. And you, Isabel, are probably after something else. It was not great.
Well, yeah, I definitely. I think this is also supposed. This is. I don't think they're trying to cast Alicia in a good light here. I think it is about like, look at Alicia. Trying to not say this woman is lying, just taking her. How can we take you for your word? And like you said, in a 2025 lens, does not age well. But
No.
Alicia like almost badgering Isabel on the stand to be like, "You lying hussy," or "You're just trying to get this man's money." Is like, ugh, yikes, Alicia.
Yeah.
It's not a great look for you. But that's part of Alicia's character. She has these moments where she's like, does the not so great thing for in the greater, I guess, good of her
Well,
client.
Will's whole advice was like, you have to serve your client. You have to do what's best in the
Right.
best interest of your client. And this, unfortunately, was in the best interest of her client. It just was like really horrible
Yeah, Alicia goes
for
pretty hard.
everybody else.
She goes pretty hard at her. Like,
Yeah.
why should we believe you? Like, oh, yeah,
Mm.
like 13 years later, it's just like, we should definitely believe everyone. Yeah, in this case, yes, Isabel is lying. It's like,
Yes. Yeah.
but on the face of things, you're supposed to take it for what it's worth and work the evidence, work the whatever.
Yeah.
But in 2025, we are on the tip of believe women until you get
Otherwise,
evidence saying
yeah.
it's not the case.
Yeah.
So
And Will finds himself in court at this point, which I thought was interesting. Why would he walk into a courtroom? I just was like,
I
what are
think
you
they
doing? I know
mentioned,
he wanted to like support her, but like,
yeah, I think they
who?
mentioned he can watch cases as a civilian. He can do that.
Yeah, he
I
can
don't
do
know.
that.
I don't know why you would want to do that and give any look of impropriety on your part, like you know, because it's not well, he didn't go up and like give her advice. They kind of shared a couple of looks like, oh, yeah, oh, but he didn't really give any advice. So I guess they can prove he didn't, but why even risk
Why? Exactly.
giving
Like
a
I
look?
wouldn't even like people see him walking down the hallway. Like, you know what I mean? Like just don't even risk it. We did not mention yet that the opposing counsel for this case is, I forget her first name, but her last name is Adler, Counselor Adler, who we know as the person who ran a fake play for Wendy
Yeah,
Scott Carr in terms of running for state's attorney a couple seasons ago.
yeah. I want to say her name was Victoria
Oh
Adler.
yeah, yeah, I think you're right. And she also wanted Diane to become a judge. So she's a big player. She's up.
Yeah, this person was at one point head of the judicial something or other. She was a big deal, and now she's just kind of a regular lawyer, I guess. So I was like, oh, Victoria's back. That's cool. I'm surprised I didn't get like a little Diane Victoria stare off at some point because Victoria used to be Diane's like an idol to
Mentor.
Diane, and she kind of
Yeah.
like let her down by what did she do?
She
Diane,
didn't run. She wanted to become a judge, and then she said, "No, I don't want to."
because it was for some reason that was like hinky and weird,
Oh yeah, I forget.
and she let Diane down, so she doesn't like Diane anymore. And then like you said, Victoria uh, pulled the okey doke on our people, being like, "I'm going to run for state's attorney." And like, "Oh no, you're not, because we got some bad info on you." She's like, "Oh, psych! Where's got car? Take the ball, go, go, go."
Yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting to see her here and just kind of being a regular, regular lawyer.
It makes me wonder if this is the start of a larger thing that I forgot about or something. Like she's a big character, but a big person in this world. So I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
why or like if it'll come back, if there'll be a callback or something, but just I got my eyes on it.
yeah. It was surprising to me that we didn't reference anything
Yeah.
from the past with them. It was almost like she was a new character.
Yeah.
They didn't really reference anything from the past with her.
Yeah. But she wants to put Colin Sweeney back on the stand after Isabel's testimony. Obviously, it's a he said, she said, this is just an injunction. This is not like a jury case or anything. So
Yeah,
let's go ahead and get her on.
Alicia is freaked out because she knows it's going to be tough for her to re-question Colin, because you're going to have to tiptoe around
Mm.
any testimony that Alicia knows is perjured. So she's got to really be careful with not supporting any perjurous, is that a word? Any perjurous
It is
statements?
now. Yeah.
Any perjurous statements that Colin made, she can't like look like she is supporting that. So it's going to be a tough line for her to tell.
Yeah. Agreed. And at the same time, Diane is calling her. We'll talk about where she was when she got this call later. But Diane is like, Caitlin's got a great idea. Like, I think what you need to do is like prep Colin because, it's going to be hard on the cross. And she's like, Caitlin has this idea. Caitlin has this idea.
Oh,
Interesting.
Caitlin told you it was her idea.
Interesting.
Now, what if what are we talking about Caitlin? We're talking about Caitlin in a separate
Yeah.
segment. But this was interesting because we didn't really get a scene of Alicia going over the strategy with Caitlin.
No.
And then Caitlin giving the strategy to Diane. So it threw me off for a second. And then I was like, I guess we're supposed to imply that they had this talk about a Colin Sweeney strategy, and Caitlin gave it to Diane as her own. So I was like, okay, I can roll with it, I guess. It just took me off guard for a second.
Yeah, I thought I missed something as well. So Alicia and David try to prep Colin, and basically the only way you can prep this man is by saying tell the truth like 800 times.
You have to talk to him like a child. It's like, now, Colin, we need to tell the truth, Colin. When I ask you to tell the truth, you need to actually give me the real, honest truth, okay, Colin? We don't lie here, Colin. We don't lie in court. When we go to court, we tell the God's honest truth, okay, Colin? Colin's like, okay, yes, ma'am. Just tell the truth. What does Colin's bitch ass do when you get him on the stand?
I mean, it's such an interesting thing because this is 2012, right? And I think the question of what is true and what is truth had not been discussed as much as it was back then. But like looking at this, because there are times where he is telling a version of the truth. Like he said he did not have sex. Did he define what sex was?
Yeah.
Did he define all that stuff? No. But you know what I mean? Like, so it's really interesting to see that kind of playing out in this court case because it's something that like there was the whole fake news thing. There still is a lot of fake news, but you know what I mean? Like there is a lot of questions around what is truthful and what is a fact.
The whole like this is my truth was not like
right, exactly.
Was not really in the zeitgeist yet.
Yeah.
So this kind of started like what I think is this and what you think is this, two different things. So technically, I told the truth based on what I think and I know. So I don't see oral fellatio being termed as sex. So
yeah, I mean,
I was telling the truth.
It wasn't even in my sex ed book. Like they didn't even talk about it.
My definition of sex is,
yeah, something else.
Something else.
Especially for Colin. Something else.
Yeah. Definitely something else for him.
So he's back on the stand, gets asked, like, did you ever go to the bathroom with Isabel for oral sex? And he's like, no, I haven't. And so Alicia goes to cross-examine him. It says, prior to Isabel, like, no one accused you of this, right? Like, no one accused you of sexual harassment. No one accused you of, like, any sort of thing. And he's like, no. And also, before we go, one more thing. I was suffering from a skin condition, so there was really no way I could have participated in oral sex at this time. And this gets Alicia, she's like, I don't know what to do. So I'm gonna stop questioning pursuant to the code of professional responsibility. Like she doesn't want to perjure her client. She can't go further with
Well,
anything.
not even just her client, herself. She
Yeah,
doesn't
exactly.
she can't be seen supporting perjury. So it's just like and of course David is doing this just not David. Why did I say David? Colin is doing this just to be Colin.
Yeah.
He's just trying to be an ass and be like, I know that because he loves messing with Alicia. So he's like, let's see what happens when I do this. When I just say I have never ever had had oral relations with this woman in the bathroom. I'll double down on this lie because like Will tells her, like, be super careful on the redirection. And like you said, she goes, no one's accused you of this, right? She doesn't say, she's just asking for confirmation whether he did it. I was like, no one has accused you of doing this.
Right.
Like something that he can like say yes to without her say while her getting him to say something she knows is a lie. So then she's like, great, we got out of that unfazed. And then Colin's like, oh, by the way, I was like, let me do some more lying and see how you squirm when I sit here and knowingly lie on the stand and what you do. Colin just loves to watch the world burn. He's just like,
Yeah.
let's see what you're gonna do now. I'm
Well,
curious. I'm having fun. I'm like, this is fun for me.
David had ordered a paternity test earlier in the episode, and it did come back saying that this kid is Colin's kid. And so then there's this really like awkward scene in the firm because Diane, Alicia, and David kind of have to come up with like how could this have happened type of thing with Colin Sweeney there. And Dave was like, one time I was defending a client, and this lady used turkey baster to collect the sperm, and then later inseminated herself with it. And Diane, okay, like there are very few times where Diane Lockhart and Agnes are like the same person, but in this moment, there was from the Gilded Age. She's just like, this is what we've become.
Yeah.
This is where we are. The law is now about a turkey baster.
Yeah, these moments where Diane just like literally questions why she does this. Now we've had this a couple times when something utterly ridiculous happens. She's like, "This is what I became a lawyer for. Like this is what it's come to. This is what it's now defined to as a turkey baster. This is what my job is now." It's like, yes, Diane, yes, it is.
So basically, they're going to go forward with the theory of contraceptive fraud.
Yeah, I loved like I liked how Dylan Baker plays this because you can tell he's really caught off guard by this because
Mm-hmm.
before this because he actually has never had vaginal sex with this woman. So
Correct.
I think right up to this point he's just like, I'm good to go. I'm scot free. I think he even mentions like, well, the returning test is going to come back negative. So
Yeah, because
it really is nothing new about anything. It's going to be fine. I can play around. I can do my Colin Sweeney thing. It doesn't matter. Then it's like, oh no, you Colin, you are the father. Like Roy Moore. Colin Sweeney, you says that little 2-year-old Stanton cannot be your child. You took a maternity test. The maternity test said you are the father. I can just see Marina Baccarin chasing him around the Maury's back room, like, I told you, I told you, I told you. And Colin's just running around in the back room. Like on Maury.
yeah,
But yeah, like he was all fun and games till this point. We're just like, oh no, like you're the dad. He's like, what? Like, how could that be possible? The way he plays is like, oh, now Colin's worried. He's like, no, that's not possible. I did not. He's like, really, guys, seriously, I'm being real, Colin. Now, I did not have sex with that woman. I don't know how this happened. Like, you can tell he's a little worried now. It's like, oh.
Well, at least he's communicating to them that he's worried. Like that is his MO at the moment. So David goes up to the bench to argue with Heather about this, like using this defense, contraceptive fraud. And there's a whole conversation about whether sperm is a gift in this situation. Is it property? Like, what is this and how can we talk about it? And BB is just like, okay, it's enough for a conversation. Like, I don't want to hear anymore. Like, let's go ahead and see what happens in court.
It's like it was a funny conversation. It's like, is this considered an abandoned? Is this considered abandoned property? So if as if the tree considers like a couch on the street, like it's abandoned, so I can do whatever I want with it. And it's like, hey, he gave me this stuff he gave me this sperm without any direction, without any like warning or like what to do with it. So I decided to do what I want to do with it. What I want to do with it is impregnate myself. And it's like, oh wow, well, I think the law must be very like complicated in real life in that because it's like, no, you like, you know why,
Well, I
you
mean,
know
like
what,
you could make the argument that like I don't want to get into it, but like there's a whole whether a fetus is a person or not type of thing. So like is that property? Is that a person? You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's the same thing and it should be equal for both people.
Yeah.
But
Like, yeah, like you
but also
misappropriated,
like
like you misappropriated my sperm. It's like, okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Like so you yeah. Did you fill out a receipt? Did you get a thank you? Like
Yeah,
what
I'm
is
like,
yeah. So they go forward with this with Isabel on the stand because they want to they have found out that Drasher has paid her a number of times. So Caitlin establishes this and then she says, "Hey, did you ever take a artificial insemination class? Ever?" What a weird class to take. You know what I mean? Like who takes that class? Like
I,
without taking like 80 gazillion prerequisites.
yeah, and they were like, it's like the Chicago Learning Annex. So this is just like a community center where you can go and take a class on artificial insemination. Like, where are they doing that at? And but we can get over that story hurdle to be like, that's a crazy thing to be doing. And so it's like, yeah, did you go there? Did you like ask the person like how long sperm lasts with turkey baster? It's like, oh shit, they got you. I almost wanted a scene where Kalinda goes and
It finds a turkey baster.
like talks to this artificial insemination person and be like, because I think it would have been a hilarious scene to walk in on and be like, okay, like
Mhm.
there's like a stack of turkey basters, like, okay, folks, this is how you do this and that. But yeah, I guess this happened off screen where Clinda got this information. I'm assuming it was Clinda that got
Yeah,
this
yeah.
information and passed it along. And it's like, oh, gotcha. Like you can see on her face, like, oh damn, they found that.
Yeah, but then something interesting happens because Adler is like doing the cross examination here and she says like she's doing the questioning and then Isabel says just one more thing. Like because I'm being accused of being a liar, like I never asked anybody about a turkey baster. And Adler is stuck in the same situation that Alicia was stuck in before. And then Colin gives Isabel eyes. So I want to know, like, this was definitely coordinated, right? Like this was like I think this was a play because I think Colin said, "This is how we're gonna get out of this. This is how it's gonna be." And also what we learn later when Colin brings Stanton to Daddy's law firm for Daddy's lawyers, they had come to an agreement that this is how it is. So I really am questioning whether this was all like a play between Colin Sweeney and everyone involved in a way for him to not pay child support or something. Like I don't know. I don't know what it would be, but it just doesn't seem right that they had the same play on the stand and then there was like the winky wink.
I hmm, I don't know at which point they came to this agreement. Um, because you're saying that the eyes that Colin gave her on the stand was like a knowing, like, good job,
Yeah,
Isabel.
because she like smiles.
Yeah,
Like
I think they're just both recognizing in each other the damage,
game
and
or
they're like, we are both crazy, damaged psychopaths. Like we have found a kindred
yeah,
spirit
that
in each
could be.
other. I
Yeah,
think after that scene, they probably came to that agreement. In my mind, anyway, that's
yeah.
what I'm thinking. Is that after that scene, they got together and were like, all right, like
We
like,
are of the same cloth.
yeah,
Let's just like make this for our benefit.
yes,
And
I think
yeah,
that's right. I don't know if before, because I mean, I think that Isabel is just as crazy as Colin and will do the same ish on the sand. Which actually, hmm, I'm starting to like. Now that I think about, it, I'm starting to come around to your idea because it's like, what if Colin and Isabel got together before that scene and we're like, hey, just go ahead and torpedo Drescher's case here. Like, go ahead and torpedo it. Get into a situation where you're obviously lying and they can see that and all that. But I think at that point, why not just say, yeah, like why not do the affidavit before that scene? Just be like, let's just dead it here. We don't need to even go into court. I think at the end of the day, my version of it is right, where they saw each other, were like, we're both kind of effed up, right? Let's get
yeah. No,
together
I think you're
and
right.
be kind of crazy partners together, which I think is what happened. They're like, hey, You're crazy. I'm crazy. Let's be crazy together and raise this little crazy kid that we're going to make. Really, we're going to really F up this kid. We're going to really mess this kid up. Which low key is just like, is another thing that I'm like, okay, this child is going to be really effed up. Like in this
so many ways.
Good wife world,
so many ways.
He's going to be effed up, which I cannot recall. I don't think it happened, but I would have loved to meet this kid years later in like the Good Fight.
Yeah,
for real. I know Colin is back in Good Fight, but I don't think it has anything to do with his kid. Like if they said it now, I'd love to see what this adult kid now is like and how effed up he is.
Well, yeah, because first of all, Colin's whole attitude towards parenthood is being a dad. How hard could that be? Like,
right.
And he's Colin Sweeney. And then also, if he's found his like soulmate in Isabel, they're both weird. They're both, a little kooky. And this poor kid is just in the middle of all this. And he also has a name like Stanton.
Oh, poor Stanton.
Like, oh man.
Poor Stanton. Yeah, because they come in, they're like, hey, guess what? We're all good now. Like
we're family.
Together.
Look at this.
Yeah, she literally signs an affidavit that says Drescher put her up to the whole thing. So, and the whole thing was, if we can prove that Drescher put Isabel up to this, he cannot even vie for the company anymore.
Right.
So Colin Sweeney automatically wins the proxy fight, and now he's back in charge of his company. So it's like, wow, like everyone pretty much got what they wanted here, which I don't know why we couldn't have come to this agreement a long time ago.
Well, okay, so then the only other theory I have then is that this was put into play at the meeting. Like, I wonder if Colin and Isabel met before the board meeting and set all this up so that he would have to get Drescher out of it. Like, if he didn't win the fight, like to make it secure so he didn't have to worry on votes. He didn't have to like think about votes. So he had Isabel interrupt. He knew he was going to lose. And then he knew he was going to Colin Sweeney his way out of this, talk to Isabel about all of this. Like, I think it was a Bonnie and Clyde heist. Like, I think they were in on it together.
But I think they could have just avoided the whole courtroom thing of it all if they're going to be like,
yeah, but not with shareholders. Like, that's the thing. Yeah. Like, he needed Drescher to have a public downfall. He needed him to like do all of this, and he also needed to show victory for him.
But I think before all that, there has to be a version of this where Drescher does get Isabel to do this. She does it without Colin Sweeney's knowledge.
Sure.
And then she maybe comes to him before the whole proxy fight is like, hey,
yeah.
Kid. And Colin's like, oh, you got my kid, eh?
Yeah.
Let's do this, and this. Like, I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
I feel like you're doing your Marissa thing.
I know.
You're right in the show, which I love you for that. I love that you do that. It gives us something to chew on, to think about. I like the theory, but I don't think I think the courtroom of it all was real. I think Colin's surprise at actually having fathered a child was real. I think that was real. He's like, oh, like what? And I think that he just used that. It was like, hey, like I can make this work for me, and I think that's what he did.
I just wouldn't put it past him. That's the thing. Like, yeah.
Kyle is crazy. Kyle's a crazy guy.
So that was kind of like, that was the only case work we got in this episode. As you alluded to earlier, Jason, we did have a departure here. So of Caitlin. How this goes down is, first of all, Kalinda is like, Alicia's very worried about like Caitlin taking over in some way. So Kalinda's like, she's hiding something. Don't trust her. And so after she finds out that Diane thinks that the strategy is Caitlin's and not hers, she goes over to Caitlin, who is like just like filling out some papers and like hiding them. She's like, I have advice for you. Like, if you want to be successful here, do not throw your mentor under the bus. And she's like, what? Like, what? And you want to be judged only for your work. Your work, not anybody else's.
Because we saw last episode at the end where Diane's like, hey, Caitlin, she's awesome, right? Like, we're gonna promote her to a full litigator. You guys are gonna share a assistant. And Alicia's like, oh, like this is crazy. Like, so she's starting to see Caitlin as a threat. And
Yeah.
and it's interesting because like there's like a whole meeting about the Colin Sweeney thing early in the episode, and Diane's starting to get a
Going
real
to Caitlin, like right hand person.
yeah, like she's kind of treating Caitlin how she used to treat Carrie back in the day. So it's almost like a redux of Carrie Alicia, where Diane's like, "Oh, Caitlin, hey girl, you gonna go to court, right? You gonna get this for us?" And Will's in the back of the room because he's supposed to be. You can tell that Will's not a lawyer right now because he doesn't have a tie on.
Exactly.
That's the
Exactly.
difference. Like tie on Will is a lawyer, tie off Will is not a lawyer. He's just a bystander because Diane's like, Caitlin, you're gonna go to court, fix this for us, right? And Will's like, actually,
Diane.
Alicia
Or
and
yeah.
Caitlin are gonna go. And it's like, and because it's like, hey girl, like don't be trying to push Caitlin above my girl, Alicia. Like, how dare you? And Alicia's like, Alicia walks into, thank you, Will.
It was so close. Like I was like, you guys are
Mhm.
walking on such thin ice here. Yeah.
Thank you, Will. Like she knows what she's doing. Alicia
Yeah.
knows up in the ear, like, thank you, Will. It's like, oh, I felt it. But it's like, it's that's one thing. And so Alicia is already on edge about this. Like you said, Clinda warned her, like, this girl's a piranha.
Yeah.
She's trying to get you.
She's just got something.
Yeah, she's hiding something. It's like, okay, she definitely is. We'll talk about that later. So yeah, like, Alicia is very like paranoid, and then Diane comes out and like, hey girl, Caitlin told me, she gave me her strategy on how we're dealing with the Colin Sweeney stuff. It's great. And it's like Diane is not helping Alicia at all.
No.
Because Diane's like, have Caitlin call me. Like, you don't call me, have Caitlin call me. It's like, ooh, 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 ooh. So Alicia is on the warp. And like, listen, we get this like really feisty Alicia every now and then. And when Alicia gets like, either you mess with her kids or you mess with her job, this is where we get the feisty Alicia, where she's like, hey girl, don't do that. Like basically tisk her. Like, do not
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
ideas. Which I said earlier, I would have loved to get kind of the good lead up to that. And
Agreed.
see Alicia talking about the strategy in front of Caitlin, and then we find out Caitlin presented to Diane as her own strategy. So they really give the good punch on this, but I guess we didn't have enough time. And so yeah, Alicia's like, hey, don't be trying to take my ideas because I will cut you. Like it was almost like I will cut your ass, okay? Like whew.
So
Scary.
she has this conversation, and then later in the episode, David Lee like tells Alicia that Caitlin is quitting. And first of all, I was like, you were kind of a little harsh there, Alicia. Like I
Yeah.
don't think she would quit. I didn't think she'd quit after that.
Yeah.
But David is like, you don't want to make an enemy. I got to tell you, you do not want to make an enemy of David Lee. Like any time in this series, the next series, you do not want to make an enemy of David Lee. So he has her on a list now.
Yeah, I loved it because Alicia leaves that conversation with Caitlin where she like borderline threatened her. And David, because we got these transparent offices, we need all the offices where you can see through them. David literally sees Caitlin like after the aftermath of the Alicia stuff. Caitlin's obviously perturbed, and so David's mad. And the lead up to this like David confrontation is basically David making eyes at Alicia, like cutting his eyes at her in these Colin Sweeney meetings, and Alicia's like, what did I do? Like, why is he looking at me like that? She's like, the looks that give each other, like, he's like, oh, you dirty dog. And she's like, what did I do? Like, until he finally is like, listen, girl, I don't know what you did to my niece, but you need to cut it the F out. He's like, you do not want to make an enemy of me. He's like, oh, buddy. So, and the way that the word is like you said, when he said she quit, I was like, oh, man, like that was a bit. And I was like, for that? I was like, she quit for that? And then we find out.
The reasoning also, like, I mean, everyone has a choice of what to do with their life, but in terms of this character, this is totally out of left field. I didn't even know she had a boyfriend. I didn't even know she was engaged. I had nothing like that was going on.
Making eyes at Will. That's where we thought this was going. We thought Will was trying to shack up with her, and all of a sudden this just comes out of nowhere. It's like she's what?
Yeah, she's like, I want to be a mom, and Diane is like trying to be as like Diane. Well, we have a great maternity leave policy. Like you can come back, you can do stuff. Diane or Alicia, you've got to talk to her. You got to talk her out of this. And when Alicia tries to do that, she's like, no, I just like really want to be a mom. Like, I
Well,
have nothing to prove. I'm willing to give this up. And of course, no one can give up the law, Jason. No one could
right.
give up the law.
Well, the way this plays out, right? You mentioned the scene with Alicia and Diane, like because Alicia, right up until this moment, thinks that Caitlin's quitting because of Alicia,
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
course, Alicia has to make it about Alicia. Okay,
Hmm.
if Alicia does nothing else, she makes it about herself. So Alicia comes in, she's like, let me up, I'm sorry, like my bad, I didn't mean to make you quit. And for Caitlin to say this stuff in front of Diane and Alicia, Diane, who you get the feeling, which she hasn't really talked about a lot, but you get the feeling that at some point in her life, she decided
Yeah.
she either didn't want a family or she couldn't, she had to devote herself to the law to have a family. And Alicia, who gave up the law at some point to take
Yep.
care of her family, for Caitlin to say these things in front of these two women is just like, ooh, it's like, damn. It's like, because these are two women that kind of chose the law over their families in different
Well,
ways.
they couldn't walk away from it. Like,
Yeah.
Diane totally, I think you're right. She did make a decision. Alicia made a decision and then she came back. Like
Yeah.
but she was like, I missed it. I couldn't do it. But Caitlin is all like, nope, thanks. Like, this is
Yeah.
fine. And
And
I think I'm just surprised as on the audience side, like as a viewer, like this came out of nowhere.
well, Marissa, you know when Pitch Perfect came out?
2012, exactly. That's
2012.
yeah, I
So
know.
it really it feels like from an audience standpoint that things just go along swimmingly, and then Anna Camp got a call back for Pitch Perfect. She's like, "Oh,
I'm out.
I'm sorry, good wife, but I got to dip." There's this thing called Pitch Perfect. I don't know. I think it might be a thing. It might get a trilogy. It might be a worldwide phenomenon. I don't know. This lady Anna Kendrick. Have you heard of Anna Kendrick? She might be a thing. This is like we're doing like a singing movie. I don't know, but it feels like it's what I should do. So I gotta dip on the Good Wife because it really feels abrupt. It feels like they are really building up Caitlyn to
Yeah, they
like
were.
be something, and all of a sudden she's just gone. It's like, whoa, that was whiplash. Like,
Well, and especially with the promotion. Like it I wonder if like in between the filming of that episode and this
yeah,
episode they found out because it was like they were setting her up for something great unless they were setting her up so that it would be more powerful when she left because she wouldn't be leaving as like an L1 but she or like a first year associate she would be leaving as like a full litigator instead of like an intern or whatever she was.
yeah,
It was
it definitely
more
makes
of
it
a
hit.
bigger walk away.
Yeah, it makes the hit bigger because it's like she was really doing very, very well. Like she was on like a great track, and for her to just like be like, all right, guys, bye, which really was her attitude. It was like
Yeah,
she has
she's like,
no
bye.
qualms about it. She has no issue because Diane tells Alicia like, hey, like after Caitlin leaves, Diane and Alicia, where she announces she's getting married, she's got a baby, she's out of here. Diane's like, Alicia, go, you're gonna go talk to her, right? Alicia's like, yeah, I'll talk to her. I'll make her see what's what. And Alicia goes to talk to her, and she apologizes for being harsh. And Caitlin's like, oh, girl, that ain't nothing. And Caitlin's doing wedding invitations. And I had to wonder, like, is Alicia going to get an invitation? I don't know.
I know, I wonder that
I
too.
wonder. And, Alicia's like, you don't have to, like, Alicia's coming at it from a certain perspective. She's like, you don't have to give up the law for anyone, not even your fiance, which at a certain point, Alicia gave up the law for Peter to go after his
Yeah,
dreams.
exactly. She's like, don't do what I did.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to give up your job for a man. And Caitlin's like, girl, I want to give up my job for a man. I love my man. Which I just wonder what Alicia's thinking this moment. Or Alicia's like, that's what I thought too. Like that's what I
Oh, for
said.
sure. Yeah,
That's what I
for
said way back
sure.
when, Caitlin. Like, that's what I said. You
I
love
mean,
your man right now, but
yeah.
when he cheats on you with some sex workers, come to me later. But she does tell Diane later because Alicia and Diane meet back up again, and Diane's like, well, you came back after 15 years. Like maybe she will too. And Alicia's like, nah, she's different. That
Yeah.
Caitlin's built different. Like she ain't coming back because and Caitlin calls it out. Caitlin's like, well, maybe it's just for different generations, but I don't feel like I have anything to prove to anyone.
Well, and I think like it's a very important conversation because women I will be speaking as a woman, not for all women. Um,
A great preamble.
Thank you. Like when we're told we could have it all or we can do things, it's like it's usually like you can still have a job, you can still work, you can still do all of these things. And I think some people don't see being a mom as like also be having a job and doing all of these things. And so it was kind of an important conversation. So she's young. She has, and she's making a choice for herself. She's not making it for anyone else. Like, and even if that's what she thinks she wants at the moment, she'll find out later if she doesn't. And it's not like she doesn't have the competency, the intelligence, the anything to pick it back up. Like she could just pick it back up pretty quickly. So as long as she, is doing what she wants for her. And I think that conversation comes up at the end of the episode when Alicia's like, because Diane's like, I can't believe after all we fought for to like do all this stuff, and Alicia's or like, this is kind of why we fought for it. Like this is kind of
to have that choice.
Of the reason. Yeah.
Yeah, you fought for someone to make this choice of, yes, I can be a high powered lawyer, but it's not my dream. That's not what it's not what I long for. I long for family. I long to be a wife. I long to be a mother, and I don't want the law to get in the way of that, or like whatever. And that's a totally valid choice. And like I think it's recognizing that choice to be a mother is as valid as the choice to be a lawyer or a senator or a whatever else. Both those things are totally valid. It's about who you are as a person. There's different perspectives, and not everyone wants the same things.
Well, and I also want to say it is a decision with privilege. She could not make this choice if she didn't know she could support that kid, if her husband wasn't making a lot of money or she didn't have money that would support her later. So like a lot of women don't have this choice that she had.
Definitely.
So moving over to the SA's office, aptly named for this conversation. Not really, but Eli at the beginning of the episode is really worried and tells Peter there's a blog out there that says 2 people had sex in your office on the couch. And he's like, what? Oh, okay, I'll deal with this. So he pulls all of the like senior people into his office and says, we have a 0 tolerance policy for fraternization. Talk to your ASAs. This is what it is. And Geneva is right on Carrie's tail of like, interesting. 0 tolerance policy. And he's like, do you have anything to say? And she's like, yeah, I said it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I just think that's pretty interesting.
Geneva Pine. Love Geneva. I was worried last episode when they were like, we gotta get Geneva out of here. Like, oh no, but Geneva's back. And Geneva, like, unlike all the other dupes they tried to give us of Geneva comes in correct, getting on Carrie's ass. I'm like, oh, Carrie, interesting, right? Like Peter says there's no tolerance for fraternization. What did you think you were doing with Dana? Would that be fraternization? I'm not sure. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? What are you trying to say? Like, if you want to say something, just go ahead and say it. And yeah, this was a very interesting storyline.
Because again, Carrie is stuck with the dirty work of doing this investigation, carrying around a picture of the couch.
The picture of said couch.
Like this that couch. Was hilarious. This is the couch we're talking about. This is the one.
This is the crime scene.
Oh boy.
What? Oh man, that was hilarious.
And it turns out that a black man named Jeremy had sex with another man on this couch, and this was a like subordinate supervisor type of situation.
Yeah. So but this conversation though that Carrie's coming at this. I don't know if in this moment Carrie is being authentic or if he is kind of, trying to get one over. Because Jeremy's like, all right, like if I admit that because Carrie has the evidence. Carrie's like, well, I mean, your ID badge signed in to the executive floor where Peter's office is 3 times at night. And Jeremy's like, all right, well, I mean, if I said I did it, what'll happen? Carrie's like, nothing. This is just, we just need to fight. We just need to figure this out. Nothing. It's not going to be in your permanent record. It's going to be fine, man. It's going to be fine. Next thing you know.
Well, he first presents this evidence to Peter, and Peter's like, oh, we're going to have to, do something. And Carrie's like, I don't really know if you want to like punish them too hard. There's like two black gay men like having sex on your couch. Like, I don't know if that's going to look good. And Peter's like, I'm not punishing them for their sexual orientation. This is a power dynamic thing. And I was like, very rich coming from you, sir. Like, but also like, thank you for keeping that in mind. And this doesn't do well with Carrie. He's not, because he's also thinking about himself. And after it's all said and done, we learn that Jeremy is actually fired because of this. And Geneva is right back up in Carrie's office, as she should, and say, isn't it interesting that like a black man got punished for fraternization, but you, a white man, didn't? And also, like, isn't it interesting that Wendy Scott Carr, a black woman, was fired from this office? And Carrie's like, go, like, if you have something to say, like, go tell Peter. And she's like, about what? Like, if you want to say something about me and Dana, go tell Peter. No, I'm not gonna do your work for you. Like, this is on you, bro.
Yeah, Geneva 8 in this scene. Hardcore. This is what Renee Elise Goldberry was made to do. Get on white men's ass. So like, like you said, she's like, isn't that funny? Like, Wendy Scott Carr, black woman fired. Jeremy, black man fired. Dana, demoted.
Yeah.
He says, Carrie, you, a little boy, was promoted over me, a black woman, and Matan, a black man, with you having no seniority, you having minimal experience, a hell of a lot less of experience as me and Matan's got. So, that's odd. Like, so Carrie's like, well, I mean, if you wanted to happen, I guess you better go tell Peter. She's like, no. I'm like, and she knows what she's doing. She's putting the burden and the weight of this on Carrie.
Which is like, as she should as a person, but also brilliant, because Carrie will take that. He will like take it and think about it. Yeah.
Eat him alive. And again, and if Geneva was to do this, it would look a certain way in the public eye.
Yes.
She would be criticized for doing this. And she knows that. I don't know if Carrie knows it, but she's like, Geneva knows the optics here. She's like, I'm not going to be the one to do this. You are going to have to do it. I love she tells him like, because he's obviously like, oh, what do I do? It's like, a bad economy for ideals. It's like, it's like I can snitch on myself, but I'm going to be out of a job maybe. And she's like, oh well, either you want to do the right thing or you don't. Like, what's it going to be?
And this is like at the core of who Carrie is as a character. No matter what side he's on, if he's on the prosecution, if he's on the defense, no matter what, this is a guy who went to the Peace Corps. This is the guy who worked for the Innocence Project. He has a very strong moral compass. And Geneva's right to push on it, because it's chipping away, and he finds himself in Peter's office. He confesses to having a relationship with Dana, and Peter's like, I know you. I mean, like, I don't condone what you did, but like, I know you. And Carrie's like, so the rules don't apply to me? And Peter says, does anyone else know about this? And so Carrie's like, you're going to have to do something. Like, I think I should resign, or you're going to have to put me on suspension. And Peter has to think about this. So I think there is, I don't know if it's conscious or unconscious, but a bias for sure in Peter's thinking and treatment of people in his office.
So, I mean, it's tough because obviously I don't think Peter promoted Carrie over Matan and Geneva because he's a white guy. I think he did it because he hates his wife, because he wanted to get at his wife and her law firm. I don't know that he had to make him deputy director to do that, but
Carrie made a deal, right? Like, there was that deal that we never saw, so we don't know what Peter got in return for that.
Yeah, so we can say that we know why he hired Carrie, but it does look really bad when Geneva spelled it out like that. I was like, oh yeah, that is tough. And then Peter kind of backs that up by being like, oh, Carrie, you're a good egg. I don't know worry about you. You're a fellow white man. I know you're a good guy. It's like, oh, that's not helping. This is not helping Peter. And then only when he finds out that other people
know about
know,
it.
he's like, oh, now I gotta do something about it because people know. It's like, oh, it's bad. It's bad.
Well, and also, it's not a great look for the state's attorney to not have an awareness of the fact that these things are happening, like of what that would look like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, especially in like racial profilings in the news at this time, like people things are heating up in terms of uh, racial tension in the United States. Like, I just like Carrie is
I mean, when
aware of
aren't
it.
they?
I
When
know
aren't they?
exactly. Yeah, that's true. Fair point. But like he's running on change, he's doing all of this stuff, and like he should have an awareness around the color of people in his office and what that means to the individuals and how his decisions impact that. And so like even if he said like he I don't know, he has no awareness that this is even a thing.
Yeah, I mean, he does. Like Geneva obviously has all these stats clocked. She named them right off the barrel. Like she knows it because she has a vested interest.
Yeah, well, and
In
also it's her community.
yeah,
It's,
she has a vested interest in seeing these things happen because it's from her perspective. Peter's perspective is he has no perspective in this case because he doesn't see it. He doesn't see, like, when people say, "Oh, I don't see color." That's not a good thing, my G.
no,
That's bad.
yeah,
They're like, you
yeah,
have to see color. You have to realize how these things are affecting other things and look at it from that lens. And yeah, I think Peter is somebody that would say, I don't see race, I don't see color. Like, well, you should,
exactly.
you need to. And it's like, so he is ignorant of his own bias for sure. I
And
just love.
unwilling to hear criticism by Carrie because Carrie has brought it like
Yeah.
this is a bad look. This is not going to look good, and he doesn't even like think
And
about it.
and this is also 2 weeks in a row where Peter has backslid, right? He's backslid
Mm-hmm.
into bad practices, and he's done all this in front of Carrie. Carrie's the only one that has really been present
And
for these back. I wonder if it's really going to start to get to Carrie and be like,
oh, for sure.
I can't work for this guy. This is not. He's hiring his friends. He is, trying to give me a pass on something he said he had zero tolerance for. Several times in the episode, zero tolerance is what Peter said. So I do wonder if that's going to affect Carrie. We're going to be like, damn, I thought the state attorney's office was where I would go to do some good in the world,
The
some
good
right.
work.
But there's not even right stuff here. I might as well go back and work for Lockhart-Gardner and make money at least while I'm working for bad people. So I do wonder when that's going to start coming into effect because all this is happening in front of Carrie's eyes.
Well, and
So
Carrie's perspective, he has more knowledge about Peter than most people. So he's got so much context that he knows how this all connects into who Peter is as a person.
yeah.
And so yeah, I mean,
I thought this was the most interesting storyline we got
yeah,
this episode. I really enjoyed this storyline.
yeah. Oh, you mean you didn't care about the family getting kicked out of the apartment, kicked out, getting evicted, quote unquote, and
I'm so
having to
sorry you're
find
getting
$1.2 million?
Yeah, bro. Like, talk about tone deaf. Like, I'm so sorry you're getting kicked out of your almost $1 million house. You might have to go. You might have to go to a slightly smaller, super expensive house. Oh, I'm so sorry for you. It's like, okay, great. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's like if people should be thinking about this when they're doing these shows and scenes of like, oh no, Alicia might have to move to a different super expensive house.
Well, like I get from the character standpoint, I get the like you're gonna have to commit to this life part of like buying the condo, right?
Yeah.
Did I need to know? I mean, I'm pretty sure this will have to do because in this episode, Alicia does ask for a raise to like try to help with this. And even though Caitlin just quit, Diane's like, it's not gonna be as much as you want it
Yeah.
to be. So
Well,
but
did you? I think she said. Did she say? Oh no, she just say that after Caitlin quit. Yeah, that's right.
yeah. So she's got to find this money if she wants to buy her apartment in 90 days. So she's got some time, especially because she knows people to do things. Apparently, the super downstairs says, I told Peter a year ago. She's like, well, first of all, she's like, really? And then Peter's like, no, I didn't say anything. I had no idea. So this guy's trying to like establish a timeline in the fact that like when he said things, because there are laws on the books that say you have to like give notice, blah, blah, blah. But it basically, the whole reason for this is because Alicia's house in Highland Park is also for sale. And so she's got to have to like make this choice of like, does she go back? Does she stay? What does she do? And she goes to the open house in Highland Park, walks through, like stuff is still kind of how she left it. But then she finds the height chart in a closet and looks at it, closes the door. I don't think she's moving back.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I do feel like all the height stuff was tugging at her heartstrings to be like, you miss this life, right? You miss this house and your kids, and I do think that also because her and Peter were talking on the phone, they were like kind of chummy, and then so much so that Eli witnesses this. He looks at Alicia on the phone and surmises that she's talking to Peter. He's like, hey, he tells Peter like, you guys. It looks pretty chummy, huh? How about that? And Peter's like, all right, Eli, like, stop trying to
Chill
scheme us
out.
back together. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, and
I
yeah,
just
she sees other apartments. It's like it's not up to snuff for her. We got some numbers here that she is that this the new. I don't know if they're going to renovate her apartment to make it a condo.
no. They're just like it just changes the agreement of so the agreement of the thing. I don't think there's going to be anything done to it. I
Just
think
going to
it's
stay in
just
the
like
apartment.
she's just going to own it. So then like any repairs are hers, any all like it's like having a house without a yard. But it's like $1.2 million
I was like,
to
whoa.
purchase $35,000 for a parking space. And I was like, just one parking space because she has a car, and then also what's his face
Zach
has a
has a
car.
car.
Zach has a car, and then $2,000 to $3,000 a month for association fees because she's like, is that all in? And then you've got utilities, and then you've got like all of
My
this stuff.
my flipping mortgage isn't even $2,000. Like she has to pay them a month for HOA fees. Like,
Yeah,
whoa. And it's like, yeah, that's not my life. So when I hear $1.2 million and Alicia doesn't bat an eye, she's just like, oh, okay, 1.2 million. Like me, I bet. Well, I guess we'll be leaving in a couple days. Right? There ain't no way. And Alicia's like, huh, we'll see. Like maybe it's like, oh, okay, cool. That's just the life Alicia lives.
yeah.
That's the life they
I
live
mean,
there in Lockhart-Gardner, which is fine. But it's like, whoa,
even spread over 30 years, that's a shit ton of money.
yeah, so obviously. So it's like, wow, that's interesting. But yeah, it just kind of shows the lifestyle that they live there on The Good Wife. It makes sense. They are high-powered lawyers.
Yeah.
It makes sense they make that amount of money. But here, the amounts was like, whoa, mind-boggling for your boy, your poor boy over here.
Yeah, I don't even know how to like I know what it looks like on paper, but I wouldn't know how to like I don't know what $1 million is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I get
it's
you. I get you.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like I don't know.
yeah, and we're talking 1.2 mil in 2012 days. Like
Yeah, exactly.
not even now.
Exactly. Well, and that is also to say, I will not be talking about the gentrification of Chicago and how it is all changing because of the housing and how it's gotten more expensive since then, but you can look it up.
Yeah.
Um anyway, that's our episode. Kind of moving Caitlin out, Carrie possibly out,
Yeah.
Colin Sweeney, Will advising, and Alicia's going to have to figure out what's going on pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see where the Carrie stuff goes for sure. The kind of vacuum Caitlin leaving, what that
Mhm.
does, which is so bizarre because like I do feel like they were going on a trajectory with that character, and then something like Pitch Perfect happened. They're like, oh, gotta pivot, change course. So that's interesting. Love to see where the rest of the season takes us. Marissa, do you want to tell the good folks out there where they can find you and what you are up to right now?
Sure. You can find me, as Jason talked about earlier, on the Gilded Pod if you have not watched the season and want a companion as you're doing it, or if you're getting caught up. Great place to go. We did every single episode this season. We had Bryce on a couple times, so go check that out over on the Gilded Pod. Otherwise, I'm here on the Good Pod, also talking with Jason, or I'm over on Whirlwind Podcasts talking about Pretty Little Liars, one previously on at a time. And I'm also watching The Next Generation, Star Trek The Next Generation for the first time with my sister on a podcast called The USS Sisterhood. Other than that, you can find me at itsmemarissag.com, where all of my links and stuff live. That's what I'm up to. Jason, what's up with you these days?
Yeah, you can find me over on the Perfect Match podcast. We are on Patreon at the moment, talking about season 11 of Married at First Sight. Me and Asia Welch are talking about that show on the Patreon over there. So go to patreon.com/a perfect match. You will find us. We'd love to have you over there. You can also find me talking about, not to be confused with the podcast I just said, the show Perfect Match, where they kind of take a lot of the Netflix reality love dating shows and mash them all together in one big debaucherous pile over there. So you can hear that on the Rob Has Podcast Network over on the Love at First Sight feed. Just type in Love at First Sight in your podcast catcher and you should be able to find it. We just wrapped up the finale episode of season 3 of that show. So that is that season is done. Me, Asia Welch, and Kirsten McInnes talked about that show. We had a blast talking about the show and the nonsense craziness over there. So that is where you can find me. And until next time, stay good.